on the outside. You don't let your mind tell you what to do on the outside, because we're looking at you in a tryout. We got to be like, okay, he looks like he wants this. You know, like the nerves, the nerves ain't getting to him. Okay, but he's been training for 2 years and he's not nervous and he's stretching. Like, okay, well, we might have him hit the ropes. You get that possibility because you look more ready for it, as opposed to, you know, y'all can kick, y'all can punch. You know, if you like, y'all kick, y'all punch, I'm gonna be like, whoa, tape his wrist. You know, dark match, let's try it.
Couple bluffs could sit you down forever, paralyzed. Even if the Romans saw the double, yeah, with a pair of eyes. Living the vision of ascension with splitting images, ending henchmen until any boss's titles aforementioned. Giving praise to the Savior for the years, educated, tucking razors. I ain't slayed the knowledge of another major. All the pain from being told is pleasure for ignorance, pushing to the forefronts, but I'm insignificant. Make you take shots to the head with a sniper's discipline. Mine's seen and attentive, and I peel back from riddling. My values is wild, worthless. They would all scream, don't get carried away until you're crowd surfing.
Sometimes I amaze myself. I was stuck in a maze myself. From the dirt, from the clay myself. God knows I.
You know, I'm very humble. I look at every opportunity I have as a blessing. You know, I'm always extremely thankful, grateful for every opportunity that I get, whether it's in photography, whether it's in whatever it is for the backstage of wrestling. And, you know, it's a bunch of positives, man. You know, I met some of my best friends through wrestling, and, you know, one of the first people I met was Chrissy Rivera, you know, and look how long we've been doing it. It's, you know, it's so many years. We're almost 10 years in. Me and Yim, you know, 8 years strong. And like I said, there's going to be times where you're going to meet people that may stick with you, or they may be with you for the rest of your life. And you may meet some people that you never want to see or hear from again, but that's entertainment, and it's all just a blessing.
Before I got injured, I didn't have a character. I was trying to work on different types of moves, of characters, mannerisms. He'll tell me what worked, what didn't work. And it wasn't until after I got injured, where I had 4 or 5 months to just sit and think, he would help me kind of construct the perfect character for me to really bring to life when I came back. And to this day, he still helps me out to tell me, this works, this doesn't work, keep this, drop this, whether it's submissions, entrance. He helped me with my music. So he's always there to help me just be better than what I am now.
You know, he kind of has a different eye. He has his own eye from, you know, just a different perspective. He also has the eye of the lens and the camera, and how it can be portrayed, you know, through a camera lens. So he knows what to tweak. He knows the little things that can make a character better, or to give that character more star power or different mannerisms to make the character larger than life. So Blake has a really good eye for that through the lens, and, you know, because he shoots this stuff, you know, every weekend. So he knows what's good, what's not good, who has star power, who doesn't. So Blake is awesome when it comes to that.
So at an early age, you know, I learned how to basically fix electronic equipment. I'm talking about like at the age of 6, you know, we're sitting here fixing VCRs and, you know, having VCRs taped from tape to tape and all that. So when I was a kid, one of the first 2 events that I really got to see on video were Starrcade 87 and WrestleMania 4. So I remember, you know, I taped it on another tape so I could take it home. And I watched these shows over and over and over again because I wanted to really, really learn. I wanted to I wanted to memorize these events. And what I was actually doing was I was going match by match by match and really appreciated the storytelling for both of those events. And I would sit there from start to finish and really think like, okay, this is why, like for Starrcade 87, for example, I'm like, okay, so this is why Ric Flair dropped the championship to Ronnie Garvin. He helped elevate him. But now that the chase is over, it's time for him to start a new chase. Boom, he wins the championship. So little things like that I would think about that when I'm booking, you know. So if, for instance, if we're like at an RCW or WSU, always wanted to make sure to have a different type of character. You know, we wanted to have technical, we wanted to have lucha, we wanted to have storytellers, we always wanted to have psychology in a match. We wanted to have things where the promos leading up to it invested you into the match, or maybe that one dream match that you had to see. These are things that I learned at a very, very early age, and now at the age I am now, I'm so glad to have taken the time to do that, because now these are abilities that I can put into my art.
I mean, if I gotta think about it, Blaze like one of my best friends, pretty much. I can call him anytime. He always picks the phone up. You know, he comes over and hangs out. And when it comes to wrestling, he did a lot for me. I mean, you take the best pictures you're going to see anybody take, period. So if you need a photographer, hit up Blake, because he's the best in the business. And don't try to lowball him. There's a lot of promoters try to do stupid shit like that. You know who you are.
He's just straightforward. You know, he's not like these other promoters like gubble and, you know, stutter like, oh, well, maybe. Blake just straight to the point, you know. He got his own promotion, his own business. He's passionate. He talks about like the Japanese wrestling, the independent wrestling guys like Eddie Kingston, Low-Key, you know, people from the CZW roster, from his own product with the WSU product, you know. So he's very passionate. He don't like to fail. He don't like to lose. He's a winner. And that's what it's all about. You don't want to lose, man.
Blake has been somebody who has helped me tremendously over the years. Giving me opportunities in promotions that he's had affiliation with, taking stellar, top-notch photographs of me, oftentimes giving me, you know, a very solid discount or pro bono work. And in addition to that, has always spoke highly on my behalf, put in a good word for me, and as I mentioned, always opportunities available for me. Always a spot for me on the show, always a spot for me on the roster. And, you know, like I said, people like this, they're just hard to find. And Blake's one of a kind.
The dude has a passion for the business, and he has a passion for helping people. Like when he started getting great at photography, like he helped so many of us get into our comfort zone. Like anytime we did photo shoots, it was the best photo shoots we've ever done. You know what I'm saying? It was just laid back atmosphere. Everything was all good. And then when he used to run RCW, Real Championship Wrestling in Baltimore, that was one of the best locker rooms I've been in. It was, again, like atmosphere was laid back. It wasn't any BS. Everybody on the same page, no attitudes or nothing.
To just like see, you know, Blake kind of behind the scenes and just being completely comfortable in his surroundings and being able to talk to people that he's actually like looked up to or even fans of at that time, and getting to a point where he's having conversations with these people where they actually wanted his opinion on what they were doing in the ring or what they were even doing on a merch standpoint, or just asking for advice or what do you think of this, and you know, and Blake as a consumer of the product and having a lot of respect for the actual, you know, house that is wrestling, was just giving back some really good feedback.
One thing I learned since day one, whether it was RCW more so and WSU and everywhere that I've had a chance to book and help create talent with, is like just the importance of psychology, storytelling, and really being mentally prepared to represent your brand, represent yourself as a brand, and represent everything that's going to make people not only want to see the product, but be interested in you. And I use my photography and my knowledge of wrestling to mix that all in. So even where you might be seeing somebody debut or you might be seeing a champion, back in the WSU days, my biggest goal when I was there is I wanted everybody to feel important from the beginning of the card all the way to the main event. And I wanted it to feel like an event of just not only stories and great matches, but something that'll always get you wanting to see the next event, whether it was next month or, you know, the month after that. Then I don't think a lot of that was appreciated by the owner, But I think it was more so appreciated by not only the roster, but it was also appreciated by the fans. And if I can make others happy and I can make people happy and make people feel like they're wanted in a company, which is always my goal, then I feel like I won.
I enjoy working with Blake in a booking aspect because he's not just a yes man. He actually listens to you, takes your ideas, sometimes agrees with you, sometimes disagrees with you, which is actually appreciated. You don't want someone just saying, yeah, that's great, it's great, when it's not great. The only way you're going to get better is if someone tells you, hey, maybe it won't be a good idea, or yeah, that's really smart, what if you do it this way? He's really a really good mind to bounce ideas off of.
The man can book 6 to 12 months of material for a show in like 24 hours. I've seen him do it, and I've seen the results. I've walked backstage with him a few times when he's putting everything together. Very innovative. I feel like it's almost like when Paul Heyman would book the show in ECW in like, I don't know, an hour span before bell time. Like, he can do that. Like, it's ridiculous on how fast he can come up with things.
You bring it all back to just being a fan of the product, where this is what you want to see. And then like him being very knowledgeable of all the talent, it just was like a no-brainer. We just put these people out here to just showcase their talent. You know, put these two people together, put them in the ring, and, you know, watch the magic happen. He was very knowledgeable of, you know, putting those together, making that add up, and it was good math.
Something that a lot of people notice about me is I always take on multiple different roles, you know, or multiple different hats, as it's said sometimes. And I do this because, you know, I always like learning. I feel like when you're in a entertainment business, especially something like wrestling, you're always learning. And I'm not a wrestler. So being somebody that has just strictly backstage roles, you know, you got to make sure that what you do is at a level that's going to not only earn the respect, it's going to gain the respect and show people that you are just as passionate about what happens in the ring as anybody else. And everybody knows that, like, whatever I take on, I'm going to give it 100%. So I am always looking to continue to learn, whether it's learning more about booking, producing, agenting, writing, everything. You know, I like to mix all of that into my repertoire because for me, you can't just be excellent. You have to be phenomenal at everything you do and what you bring to the table. And that's something that sticks with me all the time when I'm working backstage and I'm doing something for the world of wrestling.
I was on the CZW roster, seeing Blake deal with like the CZW roster and the WSU roster and pretty much coordinate between both of them as far as pictures go. Then having to more or less like help book some of the CZW show and then help book most of pretty much the WSU show. You get to see like how many different hats like you had to wear just on any given day. I mean, it was almost like being the promoter, you know, at a lot of smaller feds where you have to actually promote the show and then book the show, sometimes wrestle on the show. It was just multitasking like at its best as far as the wrestling business goes.
Y'all ever seen the shit, like, you ever seen, like, in movies, has everybody seen boxing? So, like, if we're boxers, right, if I'm boxing him, I get him with a jab. So if I hit him with a jab, at the most, it's like, it'll do that. So if I'm tired out, I hit him with a straight, it may knock him out, right? Like, I mean, it may knock him back. But if I get in close, that's your knockout blow. So use that technique in wrestling, right? Because a lot of people, you'll see shit where they do stuff fast. Like, all of a sudden, they're hitting you with the super kick at the beginning of the match. If that's your knockout blow, why are you doing that at the beginning? You know, and if I hit you with that freshly, if I hit him, my hardest uppercut fresh, that should knock him out. Why would he kick out at 2? But if I'm pacing it, and I've hit him with, you know, in boxing, I hit him with a couple jabs, which is all in a match.
you know, might have got it straight in, hit him with that cross, that should have knocked him out. That's how you should play in these matches. It's like how people say it's like a knife fight too. Like, so if I have a knife and I poke him, he'll be like, ah. Your shell should just be, ah. Now if I have a knife and I slice him, his shell should be more, if I get a knife and I stab you, now you're on the ground. Now you're hurt.
A freelance king. Seeing him move around the way that he does is pretty cool, because what it takes in the business is essentially you understanding that there's no permanent place for you in one place, but there's a permanent place for you in the business. And if you're good enough, you can do that anywhere. You can plop yourself down in any organization and show your worth. And Blake's done it in so many places.
He has a lot of knowledge, and he sees things that sometimes people can't see, especially within yourself. It's hard to see yourself from an objective point of view, and Blake can do that. And he's not scared to say, hey, this is bad, or hey, this is great. He's honest with you. He's smart. Like I said, he's an old soul, so he's been in the business longer than people have given him credit for, or even realize he's been in the business for. So he has a lot of knowledge that people don't get. He also is a really good storyteller.
He's passionate about this business, and I appreciate that. I'll say I'm not new to the game, but I'm new to the game in every locker room I have been in so far. We haven't had a locker room meeting like that. Because it's like, all right, this is the card, have a great show, be safe. He's passionate about what he's doing here.
He looks at every match as a story and how that narrative is going to go, but he also does the same thing with backstage segments and promos, and he's really helped me kind of start to look at an interview segment or a wrestling promo as how that story is going to build, even if it's only like a minute and a half, a minute long, how to change my voice, how to change what I'm conveying, how to change my acting for that. He's great with that. He's great at just like getting a story across in like a little clip of time. He's very helpful with that. That's why I still send him all my work all the time.
You know, one thing I pride myself on and I cherish is, you know, I especially tell this more so to companies, and my friends all know this. You're always going to get 110% from me, no matter what it is, whether it's being a friend, whether it's being a mentor, photography, booking, agency, whatever, scouting. It doesn't matter what it is. Any type of backstage role or whatever it is you need from me, you always get 110%. And I put a strong belief in the abilities that I have. And the belief is so strong that I've been even said to people that if I can't deliver what you're asking me to give you within 3 months, get rid of me. That's how much belief I have in the ability I can do, because the facts have shown that I am able to do what you're asking for, and a lot of the times even beyond that. I go by facts and I go by numbers. And the times that I've worked in this business, no matter what it was, you get that 110% from me and you're giving me 110% back. There's no denying that I can't give you either what you asked for or above and beyond every time, because you're always going to get all of me when we're working together.
Blake deserves whatever he wants in life because he continues to push people that he believes in above himself.
He's helped me so much with developing my character and developing my look over the years and how that's changed. Pretty much anything I'm going to do, I'm going to get new gear. If I think I want to change a little bit of the style of what I do, like I run it by him first because he's so, like that collaborative relationship for me is super important.
All this dude really wants to do is make it in this business, and he's somebody that deserves to. I mean, you got so many people that he's helped that end up getting a contract, getting somewhere, and they forget where they came from. They forget all the things he's done for them, which is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have integrity and someone helped you along the way, when you have that time, when you have that spot, you help them out.
If he believes in you, he's going to push you and he's going to do what he can to make sure that you achieve your goals above him. So the fact that someone is willing to put their dreams aside to see his friends and his family succeed says a lot. And he also brings a lot to the table as far as agenting, coaching, something as small as even photography. He's multi-talented in different areas. So he will be a big asset to whichever company he wants to be in.